I'm Craig McLean and welcome to episode 4 of the Mk1 RS2000 build. As you've seen in the last video, I've got various bits to fit to the car, so I'm going to start cleaning them up, get on with it, and I'll show you a bit of footage of a lot of these parts being fitted to the car. So you'll remember in the last episode I said that my wife got me a surprise after visiting GS Escorts. Well, this is it. After speaking to Sam Cosgrove in GS Escorts, he said he learned a lot from this book when he was learning, you know, the ins and outs of building Mk1 Escorts. And he said it was a very helpful book. Well, I didn't realise just how helpful it was until I've opened it today, and everything I could possibly need to know about what this RS2000 should be like when it left the factory is in this book. So if, like me, you're keen to get a lot of the finer details correct to stop the anoraks pulling you with your car to bits, then I'll definitely highly recommend this book. So massive thanks to my wife for buying it me, and big thanks as well to Sam from GS Escorts for the recommendation. So I'll just explain a little bit of what this book is about. So if I go to page 146, as you can see, this is all about the RS2000, and as you go through the book, it tells you everything you need to know. I'll just skip through to a section I was looking at before that's pretty helpful. So, you know, it tells you that it should have a speaker under the dash in the boot. I didn't know that. There's a lot of detail in here. A little bit of detail about how they used to flatten out the bonnet cross member to clear the pan on the Pinto motor. What windows were often fitted to them, what braking systems were fitted to the cars, and as you go through the book, it covers every bit of detail. So, for example, you know what trim level was fitted in the RS2000, what centre console, what dials, where the fuse box was mounted. Every single thing you could possibly need to know is covered in this book. It doesn't obviously only do the Mk1 RS2000. It does. I think it covers every single model of Mk1 Escort that you could possibly think of. So yeah, if it's something you're looking to get right, definitely go out and buy one of these books. They're very, very helpful. So the first job is to fit this back shelf panel. And before I fit that, obviously I've painted the sections on the back shelf in satin black as they were in the original, so that basically you don't see orange paint through the vents on the back shelf. Now, I know at the factory this was done by simply splashing the black on and it hits where it hits, but I decided I'd rather do it this way. I'd rather mask it off. You know, me being me, I always do everything the hard way. So that's that section done. Now when the back shelf's fitted, it looks as it did from the factory, even if it doesn't look as it did from the factory as now. So anyways, I can now get this back shelf bonded into place and then move on to the next job. That's the back shelf in. As you can see, you can no longer see orange through the breather holes, or the vent holes, whatever you want to call them. It's now all fitted in properly, so that's another job to tick off my list. So in the last video I showed you the back seat that I got, and this is now what remains of it. After stripping it down, stripping the seat covers off, stripping the foam off, the hessian material, etc. I've stripped it down, both the base and the back, down to the metal frames, and there's what's left of them. I've kept them all separate, kept all the clips, etc. So what's going to happen now, along with the heater, my next job is to strip that heater down. Don't envisage that taking too much doing. Take the heater matrix out, a couple of clips off, etc. And then the heater and the two seat sections are going to get blasted and powder coated into either gloss or satin black, so that I can then get the Aldridge Re Trimming beater cloth covers, get the back seat in the car, and get the heater built back up. Whether it needs a new heater matrix or not, I don't know. I might just pressure test the original, rebuild that back up, and then that can go in. So yeah, there's a couple of things I'll be taking for powder coat in the next couple of days. So as you'll have just seen, I've stripped the back seat down, the base and the back. They've now gone to powder coat, and while it's away, I've placed an order with Aldridge Trimming for the new Beta cloth covers. And while it's away, I thought I'll replace the hessian material, because as you can see, the old stuff is absolutely minging. So I got some new hessian material, and I thought to myself, it shouldn't be too much, too bad of a job. It's just a simple case of cutting it to size. Horrible, horrible, horrible job. This has got to be in my #1 of worst jobs I think I've done. And the reason why I say that is the lines you can see there, they're metal rods, and they've got to be weaved in and out of the hessian material from left to right. So I've made them the same spacings as on the old material. Obviously the new material just needs cut to the same shape as the old when I get the seat base back and back. But what a horrible, horrible job. It's took about 3.5 hours to do that, and the worst part is that's the back of the seat. I've still got the base to do as well. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to doing the seat base as I've just done with this today. But it's going to have to be done, because as you can see, the difference between the old hessian and the new is it's a hell of a difference. So yeah, great. I've got all that to do again. So if, like me, you're coming to recover your back seat, you'll notice the material's held onto the frame with these little clips, these little hoops, basically little hoops of wire. Now, I didn't know what they were called, so finding them was quite tricky, but then a friend told me they're called hog rings, if you need any. Readily available on eBay. I think I've just bought 500 odd of them for about a tenner. You fit them with hog ring pliers, basically crimps them into a hoop to hold your material to the frame. So I just thought that bit of information might be worth sharing, because until my friend told me they were called hog rings, I was quite struggling to find them. Seen in my last video when I showed you the new parts I'd bought, that I bought new internal panels. And the internal panels were as good as you're going to get second hand, but they had a few marks, and I thought I don't really want to put them in with marks on. I want to set the bar high. So I found these on eBay, and as you can see, these are leather covers that you just bond on to your internal panel. Take a bit of doing, because I made a mistake with the first one. I tried to glue it all in one go, and I found the easiest way to do it is to do it in small sections. They look really good. I know it's another thing that's maybe not original, but when you think about it, the door cards on the front, in the front of the car on the door, they're either leather or vinyl. So to me, it's not really changing the car too much to do the same with the back panels. So yeah, these come pre-stitched, and they also come with a leather cover for the armrest. I've still got to get the armrest, and I've still got to get the ashtrays to go in there. But they look really good. I'm pleased with that. So if it's something you're interested in, they're on eBay. I'll try and leave the link in the description. And basically, they're just you just type into eBay rear quarter internal panel leather covers, something like that, and they'll come up. Today I got all my bits back from powder coating. These were powder coated at White of an Accident Repair, who also painted the shell, as I've mentioned previously. They do powder coating as well. They have done for many years, and I think you'll agree they look absolutely superb. For all intents and purposes, they could be brand new for all you know. So there's the base, the back, and all the heater parts that now I can now get on with building the heater back up, putting the seat back together, recovering it. I've got the new Aldridge trims seat covers in the garage, so that's my next job. Let's crack on. Now I've got the seats ready for the covers to go on. So you can see the hessian material, which is that awful job I showed you me doing just before there, running all them metal rods through. A job that I can't put into words how much I detest. What a horrible job. Pleased it's done. Anyways, that's them both done. Both back and base. As you can see there, put the foams back on. The foams are actually in pretty decent condition. I know they look a little bit rough along that edge there, but that really doesn't matter. The tops of them are in perfect shape. in condition, so I'm definitely going to reuse them because they're certainly reusable. So that's them ready to be covered. Here I've got the absolutely beautiful beater cloth covers from Aldridge Re Trimming. They are really nice, so well made. Probably better than the originals, if I'm honest. And they fit to the frame. There's some little holes along the edge of the frame. You'll see them just there. They hold onto the frame using these. These are the hog rings I was saying about. I got these from eBay. I think they were a tenner for about 500, something like that. And they are pressed into position using these. These are hog ring pliers, and inside there you can see they've just got a little groove for the hog ring to fit into both sides, and you basically squeeze, and that squeezes that C shape into a hoop, and then you can basically attach the material through the holes in the seat that I've just showed you, all the way around, pulling the tension as you go, and then you should end up with what looks like a brand newly refurbished seat. This is the first seat or set of seats I've ever refurbished. Generally, I just buy decent seats for my cars and then just bolt them in. But due to the sheer price of Mk1 Escort beater cloth refurbished seats, this was the best option for me. Was just to get a back seat in rough condition, refurb it, and get it ready to go back in the car. So I'll show you some footage now of these seats having one of the covers fitted. I won't video both. I don't think there's a need to show you both. I'll probably do the base first. I'll show you some footage of that being fitted. I'll show you it afterwards and then in the car, and we'll leave it at that. Before I start showing you the cover being fitted, I thought I would just show you what I was meaning about the quality of the foams. I know they look a bit, maybe slightly grubby. They're not perfect yellow foam, but if you look closely, the shape is all there. There's no rips, no tears, no bits missing. They're all there. To me, to replace these with brand new foam would be absolutely pointless. I know there's probably some people out there that would maybe replace them, but I don't think there's any need. So let's get going and get the seat covers on. Ta-da! All done. Absolutely over the moon with that. They are real nice to fit. No issues at all. No overstretching or anything like that. They just fit the shape absolutely bang on. A real nice job to do actually. You've heard me whinging on so far about how much I hated the Hessian job. This was the exact opposite. This was a really pleasing, rewarding job to do. Like I say, I'm over the moon with that. So next job is to get them in the car. I don't have the brackets to secure them in the back bottom corner. In this bottom corner here, there's two brackets that fix to the rear bulkhead that hold the back and the base in place. I don't have them. I've ordered them, but they're not here yet. So we'll get it in anyways. They're easily fitted afterwards. Get it in, and I bet it's going to transform the car when we see this in it in a second. Well guys, other than fitting them clamps I talked about that fit to the back seat, to the bulkhead. That's it done. That was a bit of a wow moment for me when I put that in, to see that looking like it does. I was took back by it. You know, it's much better than I even expected. I'm so pleased I went for the beta cloth. It's right for the RS2000. It looks really smart. The fishnet Recaros that are going in the front have got a different pattern in the centre, and my original plan was to cover the centre sections in between the in between the beads in the centre of the seat in the same material, and I thought, no, it's not right for the car. And to be honest, I would say I'll end up putting beta cloth front fishnets in it. I know they didn't have fishnets in them in the Mark 1s, the fishnets were in the Mark 2s, but I just love fishnets, as I've mentioned in the past, so I am fitting fishnet seats in the front. They are a different pattern in the centre, as I'll show you in a later video, but I think eventually I'll end up covering the front ones in beta cloth, or getting them covered in beta cloth to match the back. But for now, when I put them in, it'll be as they are. So yeah, that's kind of the first section of the car, almost complete. Other than the ashtrays and the armrests, that's kind of the back of the car finished. Wow! So to give you a little idea of what this used to look like prior to the restore, here's a little picture from 6 years ago of the inside of the car, and as you can see, the inside of the car is filled up with the engine. There was all sorts in there, engine, all the bits out my garage. Basically, when I built my new garage, all the stuff that was in my old garage got put inside the Escort and wheeled down the road into another garage while I built the extension. So yeah, I think you'll agree there's a major difference there. So guys, that's another video come to a close. I hope some of the content in this video has been helpful. I've been learning as I've been going along with a lot of the rear seat covering. As I say, I've never done that before, so a lot of the detail with the hog rings and stuff, I had to learn all that, so hopefully it'll be helpful to you. So behind the scenes, I've been making some changes, and one of them changes means that I would like to try and get the car finished for around about this time next year. So I'm giving myself kind of a 12-month deadline to have it on the road. Whether that happens or not is another thing, but that's a target I'm kind of going to set myself. So I've made some sensible financial changes to try and help that materialise. So I'll just let you see what some of them changes look like. So we've got Bilstein shocks with Princess calipers all built up. We've got 3.9 kilogram flywheel, retro Ford water rail, clutch assembly, vernier cam, engine mounts to put the engine in the car, the retro Ford sump, a new oil pump and new seals. But we'll leave it at that till the next video. And my plan now is to try and get the engine in the car in the next couple of episodes, so you'll start to see a little bit of detail regarding the engine, which is just over here. It'll be going into the car in the next couple of episodes. The only thing holding that up is the gearbox. The gearbox is going through to a specialist to get refurbished. When I get that back, I can then get it bolted onto the engine, which will all be built up with all these new parts I've just showed you, ready to go in the car. So thanks very much for watching again. I've been really surprised, I suppose is the word, and very pleased with just the amount of views I've had over the last couple of weeks, especially with my last video. It hit 1,000 views within a week. Now I know for a lot of people that's not a lot, but for me that was a real big surprise. So yeah, I'm really chuffed that you guys are obviously watching the videos and hopefully enjoying them. So please remember to like and subscribe as always, and hopefully I'll see you much sooner than it's been between these last two videos. Thanks for watching.